Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on Someone You Love by Lewis Capaldi. Now this is a great song that uses some really interesting chords, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to mention is that this song was originally played on piano, so it's going to sound a little bit different no matter what we do on the guitar, but there are some things we can do to make it sound as close to that original piano part as possible. Now if you've already been playing for a little while, you already know your bar chords. Skip it here and we'll get to the bar chord version, which sounds a little bit more accurate to the original song. The rest of you guys keep watching and we'll get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our capo, and we're going to put that on the very first fret there. Now if you don't have a capo, that's perfectly fine. Just be aware that if you try to play along to the original song or the original recording using these chords without a capo, it will be a bit lower in pitch. So it'll sound a little bit funny playing it together with those chords, but we're perfectly fine playing it for yourself, for your friends, just anywhere not along with your original song. Now the four chords we have are a C, a G, an A minor, and an F. Now I mentioned earlier these chords are really interesting, and that's because these chords together make up what's known as the four-chord song. Okay, so that's a combination of four chords, these four chords, that are found in literally hundreds of different songs. Songs like Girls Like You by Maroon 5, to Damn It by Blink-182, to Crying by Aerosmith, to I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. Just heaps of songs that use this combination of chords. And that's because they sound really nice together, and our ears are conditioned to know and like this chord progression. So to play the C, we're going to put our first finger on the second string in the first fret, our second finger up on the fourth string in the second fret, then our third finger up on the fifth string in the third fret. To play our G, we're going to put our first finger up on the fifth string in the second fret, our second finger on the sixth string in the third fret, then your third or fourth finger, completely up to you which one you use, depending on what's more comfortable, down on the first string in the third fret. A minor, very similar to the C chord, we're going to put our first finger on the second string in the first fret, second finger up on the fourth string in the second fret, third finger just below that on the third string in the second fret. And finally we're going to play an F chord. So we're going to put our first finger on the second string in the first fret, our second finger on the third string in the second fret, our third finger up on the fifth string in the third fret, then our fourth finger just below that on the fourth string, also in the third fret. Now if you want, if you've just started, you're not super comfortable finger picking or anything with your right hand yet, you can just play the chords as I did there, just one strum on each chord, and it's going to sound perfectly fine. If you want to sound a bit more like the original song, then here's what we're going to do. On the C chord, we're going to be playing the fifth string with our thumb, and with one of your fingers, I generally use my second finger, you can use your first finger as well, even your third if you want to. But with one of our fingers, we're going to be playing the first string at the same time. Then we're going to move our thumb down onto the third string, okay? And then alternate between the thumb and our first or second finger, whichever one we're using there. Okay, so put together that sounds like this. On the G chord we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to play the sixth string with our thumb, and we're going to play the second string with our first or second finger. For the A minor, our thumb moves back to the fifth string, and our finger stays on the second string. Then instead of alternating to the third string, we're going to alternate with the fourth string. So it'll sound like this. Then for the F, our thumb stays on the fifth string, and we're going to move our finger to the third string. So altogether, that sounds like this. Now that chord progression goes throughout the whole verse to chorus, back to the verse, back to the chorus again, and then we reach a bridge. So the bridge is there to shake up the song a little bit, add in something new, just for a bit more interest to the song. So for the bridge we're going to play a D minor, to an A minor, to a G, to an A minor, and then repeat that. A minor, and then a G. So for the finger picking pattern, the actual rhythm is going to be the same. So on the D minor, our thumb goes on the 4th string, our finger goes on the 1st string, and then we alternate with the 3rd string there. The A minor, our thumb is going to move down to the 5th string, finger on the 2nd string, and then still alternate with that 3rd string. The G, our thumb moves down to the 6th string, finger still on the 2nd string, and then alternating with the 4th string instead of the 3rd string. And we actually hold this a little bit longer. And then just a short A minor. Then we repeat that D minor to A minor to G. Then we move back into another chorus. So for this chorus, for the first half of it, which will be 2 times through the progression, we're actually just going to do 1 strum on each chord. Now notice how I'm only strumming to the string that our finger would ordinarily be playing in that finger picking part. So on the C, I'm strumming all the way to the 1st string. For the G, I'm only strumming to the 2nd string. For the A minor, only to the 2nd string again, then the F to the 3rd string. Again, like I said earlier, if you don't have a lot of control of your right hand, you can just do a normal strum and it's still going to sound fine. This is just, as I keep saying, to emulate that piano part a little bit more accurately. And then we go back into that finger picking pattern until the end of the song. So for you guys who have been playing for a while, this is how we play it with the bar chords. So it's going to be a little bit closer to the actual piano part. It is a little bit tricky to play though. So we're going to start with a C sharp. Now if you skipped ahead to this point and skipped the finger picking part, that's alright, I'm going to go through it again now. So for our C sharp chord, that's a 5th string major chord, also known as an A shape. So we're going to bar the 4th fret up to the 5th string. Then there are 2 ways to do this. One way, which is the way I tend to use, with our 3rd finger, we're actually just going to bar the 4th down to the 2nd string. Now this is a bit tricky because you do need to get that finger bent upwards so it's not touching the 1st string at all. For a lot of you guys who have been playing for a while, that'll be fine. For the rest of you who are having a bit of trouble with that, you can play the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings with your 2nd, 3rd and 4th fingers. And that shape's fine. It can just take a little bit longer to get into that shape because you're obviously using more fingers. So we're going to make that C sharp shape. We're going to play the 5th string with our thumb, the 2nd string with one of your fingers, so 1st or 2nd finger is probably going to be the most comfortable. And then we're going to move our thumb down to the 4th string, okay, and alternate with that 1st or 2nd finger on the 2nd string and that 4th string. From there, we're going to move to a G sharp or A flat, same chord, 2 different names depending on what key you want to be in. I'm going to call it G sharp from here on out. So we're going to keep barring that 4th fret all the way to the 6th string this time. Then you put your 3rd finger up on the 5th string in the 6th fret, our 4th finger just below that on the 4th string, still on the 6th fret. Then your 2nd finger goes on the 3rd string in the 5th fret. So that's your G sharp. Now we're going to have the same picking pattern for the rest of these chords. So we're going to play the 6th string with our thumb, the 3rd string with your 1st or 2nd finger. I tend to use my 2nd finger just for reference, guys. And then alternate between that 3rd string and the 4th string, also with our thumb. Then we move to an A sharp or B flat, again, same chord, 2 different names. And that's actually an A sharp minor. So similar to that major shape, just 1 note difference. So we're going to bar that whole 6th fret. Pop your 3rd finger up on the 6th string in the 8th fret, then your 4th finger just below that on the 4th string. So you'll notice the only difference between that last chord and this chord here, apart from the actual position on the neck, is that for this chord we're actually not using our 2nd finger. And we're going to do that same picking pattern. going to move to an F sharp. So we're going to take that G sharp shape, okay, and just move that whole thing down 2 frets. So we'll be barring the 2nd fret, our 3rd and 4th fingers will be on the 4th fret, and our 2nd finger will be on the 3rd fret. And then keep that picking pattern going. Okay, so all together that sounds like this. And we do that chord progression throughout the whole intro, verse, chorus, then we get to that bridge. So for the bridge we're going to start with a D sharp minor. So we're going to bar the 6th fret up to the 5th string, pop our 3rd finger on the 4th string on the 8th fret, our 2nd finger below that on the 3rd string in the 8th fret, and our 2nd finger on the 2nd string in the 7th fret. So you might notice it's actually the same as our major shape, just everything's moved down a string. And we're going to play the same picking pattern as we did for that C sharp major. So that's thumb and 2nd string, and then 4th string, and alternate with that 2nd string. Going to move to that A sharp or B flat minor shape that we talked about earlier, keeping that same finger picking pattern. Then back down to that G sharp. Move back up to the A sharp, and then we repeat it. From there we move back into the chorus, okay? But for the first half of this chorus, which will be twice through the chord progression, we're actually just going to play 1 strum on each chord. And then back into the finger picking pattern until the end of the song. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Any requests or recommendations for songs that you want to learn, pop them down there too, and I'll make sure to get to it. Thanks, guys. I'm Sam. I'll see you next time.